Hi, first grade. It's Miss Murphy again, here to read you a story. Here's the story we're going to be reading today. The title of the story is Jamaica's Blue Marker. That's the title. It's up big at the top. The author of this story is Juanita Haville, and the illustrations are by Anne Sibley O'Brien. So let's remember, the author is the person who wrote the story, who wrote the words, and the illustrator is the person who drew these pictures. They work together to make a book. So Jamaica's Blue Marker. Let's look at the cover. Where do you think these kids are? Here's Jamaica. Here's a boy. Where do you think these kids are? I see desk and chairs and paper. She's holding a marker. I see a chalkboard in the back. Let's find out where these kids are and what is going on. Jamaica closed her eyes and thought about her picture. Mrs. Worth always said to think first and then draw. So here's Jamaica thinking about her drawing before she draws. Jamaica opened her eyes and drew a tree on her big sheet of paper. Then she drew leaves falling off of the tree and colored them yellow. Jamaica, Mrs. Worth said, could you please share your markers with Russell? He doesn't have any. He never has anything he needs, Jamaica thought. But she said, okay, even though she didn't want to share her markers with Russell. How do you think Jamaica feels right here? Look at her face. She said in her mind that she didn't want to share her markers with Russell and that he never has anything. Do you think Jamaica should share her markers? Russell brought his paper to Jamaica's table. He sat down beside her and grabbed her blue marker. Jamaica picked up her brown and orange markers to finish her picture. She didn't pay any attention to Russell, and after a while she peeked up at his paper, and Russell was making squiggly circles all over his page. We're supposed to draw a fall picture, Russell, Jamaica said. So Jamaica's following directions, drawing her fall picture with a tree, yellow and orange. And Russell is just scribbling around, not following any directions. Who says? Mrs. Worth says, don't you ever listen, Russell? I don't have to. Russell reached out with the blue marker and made a streak across Jamaica's picture. What do you think about how Russell is acting? How do you think Jamaica feels? Look at her face and his actions. How do you think she feels? Russell, stop, Jamaica shouted, but Russell scribbled all over Jamaica's yellow tree. I'm sure she doesn't feel very good. Mrs. Worth, Jamaica cried, Russell wrecked my picture. Mrs. Worth hurried over to their table. Russell, did you do this? She held up Jamaica's picture. Mrs. Worth couldn't get Russell to say he was sorry. He had to go sit alone and work on spelling until art was over. Look what Russell did, Jamaica showed her father and brother when she got home. I tried, but I couldn't make another one as good as this. When she looked at the ugly blue squiggles, she had to swallow hard not to cry. Russell is a mean brat. Did you tell Mrs. Worth what happened? Her father asked. Jamaica nodded. Russell can't use my markers again. I shared with him because he didn't have any. He never has what he's supposed to have, and that's no reason to be mean. No, her father said. Russell should not have messed up your picture. The next time they had art, Jamaica was glad Russell didn't sit at her table. But he couldn't bother her, and she didn't have to share her markers with him either. But at recess, Russell threw sand at her and chased two second-grade girls, so he had to go to the office. Sounds like Russell is acting in a bad way, not following the rules. Before he came back, Mrs. Worth said, "I would like to tell you something. Can you keep a secret?" "Yes," Jamaica shouted with her classmates. "We're going to have a going away party for Russell on Friday. His father has a new job in another town, and they will be moving. I thought you might like to make a card to say goodbye, and then Russell will have something to remember us by." So Russell's leaving. How do you think Russell feels about moving? You think that's why he might be acting the way he is? Mrs. Worth passed out paper, and then she showed everyone how to fold the paper into a card, and Jamaica didn't want to make a card for Russell. She was glad he was moving. Then he wouldn't bother her anymore. She put the paper in her desk. At supper, Jamaica said, "I like living here. I like my house and my room and the tree in the front yard. I like my school too." "I'm glad you do," her mother said. I don't think I would like to move." "Who said anything about moving?" her brother asked. "Russell's moving," Jamaica said. "Lucky you. He won't mess up your pictures anymore," her brother said. "I wonder how Russell feels about moving," Dad said. "He might be upset. Has he talked about it?" "Russell doesn't say anything. He just gets in trouble," Jamaica said. So yeah, Jamaica's dad said that he might be upset. I wonder if he is. Russell didn't come to class on Friday morning. He was with his mother in the office. Jamaica looked at his empty desk. Next week, Russell would be gone. He wouldn't be at his desk ever again. And she decided to make a card for Russell. She got out the blank card and her markers too. Why do you think Jamaica decides to make a card for Russell after all? She said she wasn't going to. She wasn't sad he was leaving. Why does she decide to make a card for him? But just then, Miss Worth asked, "Who are my helpers this week?" Jamaica raised her hand. "Jamaica, could you collect the cards and put them in Russell's desk?" "Brianna and Thomas, I'd like for you to clear the activity table for your plates and cups." So, how does Jamaica feel? She was too late to make a card. Miss Worth had her collecting them. Jamaica went from desk to desk to pick up the cards. She put the whole stack in Russell's desk and she closed his desk. Russell came in with his mother. There they are. How do you think Russell feels? The party started. They played games for a while and ate cake. Russell opened his desk and took out all the cards. "Look, Mom, everyone made a card for me." Not everybody, Jamaica thought. She took the blue marker out of her marker bag, and then she ran up to Russell. "This is for you, Russell." She handed him the marker. "You can use it at your new school." Why does Jamaica give Russell the blue marker? "But you might need it," he said. "You like to draw. You draw the best pictures in class. What if you have to color the sky?" "Someone will share with me," Jamaica said. "Thanks," he said. "You're lucky. You get to stay here." Now Jamaica knew how Russell felt about moving. "I wish you didn't have to move," she said. How does Russell feel about moving? When Jamaica waved goodbye to Russell, she noticed that his mother was carrying his goodbye cards. Russell held out the blue marker and waved it at her as if he had won a prize. "Goodbye, Russell. I'll miss you," Jamaica said, and she meant it. What made Jamaica change her mind? The end. And there's her markers without the blue marker. Think about how Russell was treating Jamaica at the beginning and at the end. And then also think about who our main characters are. The most important characters in this story are there's other people in the story, but these two are the most important, right? Think about how they feel, how they act, and why they feel that way. Thanks for listening.